The one who loves you is about to shock you with a powerful surprise. My beloved child, pause for just a heartbeat, because what you are about to discover has been quietly moving toward you long before this moment found you. There is something unusual about today. It is not louder than yesterday. It is not brighter than last week. Yet beneath the ordinary rhythm of your life, an invisible chapter is preparing to reveal itself. Have you ever sensed that someone was thinking about you at the exact moment you couldn't explain why they suddenly crossed your mind? Those moments are often dismissed as coincidence. But what if they are the earliest whispers of a surprise that has already begun? The one who truly loves you has been carrying something within them that can no longer remain hidden forever. It is not simply a sentence waiting to be spoken. It is a decision. A realization. A shift that has been growing stronger every single day. While you have been focused on your own responsibilities, wondering whether certain dreams were quietly fading away, another heart has been gathering courage one silent moment at a time. Do not rush ahead just yet. The next few minutes may connect pieces that never seemed related before. Think about the unexpected delays that frustrated you. The conversations that almost happened but somehow didn't. The opportunities that appeared, disappeared, and then strangely returned again. What if none of those moments were random interruptions? What if every pause was creating the exact timing needed for something far greater than you imagined? Sometimes the greatest surprises never announce themselves with noise. They arrive after silence. They arrive when expectations become quiet. They arrive when the heart finally stops chasing certainty and becomes ready to receive something genuine. The one who loves you has been changing in ways you cannot yet see. Every challenge they have faced has been teaching them something about honesty, patience, and what truly matters. The version of them that once hesitated is slowly becoming someone willing to step beyond fear. Growth often happens where no audience is watching. Ask yourself something. Why has this message reached you today instead of yesterday? Why now? Perhaps because your perspective is finally ready to notice what has been hidden in plain sight. Stay with this thought for a little longer. There is another layer you have not considered. Many people spend their lives searching for dramatic signs while overlooking the quiet transformations happening right beside them. The biggest turning points rarely begin with fireworks. They begin with one brave decision made in complete silence. A single choice has the power to redirect an entire future. Imagine someone standing at the edge of an important conversation. They replay countless possibilities in their mind. They wonder how their words will be received. They hesitate, not because they lack feelings, but because those feelings matter deeply. Every passing day strengthens their desire to finally let truth replace uncertainty. That inner battle is more powerful than most people realize. The one who loves you has been walking through exactly that kind of journey. Not perfectly. Not instantly. But steadily. Meanwhile, life has been preparing you as well. Certain disappointments have quietly increased your wisdom. Certain unanswered questions have made you more aware of what truly deserves your energy. Even moments that felt empty have been shaping your ability to recognize authenticity when it finally stands before you. What if every difficult season carried a hidden purpose? What if nothing meaningful was ever truly delayed? The answer may arrive sooner than expected. There is something remarkable about genuine affection. It refuses to disappear simply because circumstances become complicated. Instead, it matures. It becomes calmer, stronger, more intentional. Time tests what excitement alone never could. That is why the most meaningful surprises often come from hearts that have learned patience instead of impulse. Listen closely. A new page is already turning. You cannot hear it with ordinary ears, but your intuition has probably sensed small changes recently. Maybe familiar thoughts have returned without warning. Maybe certain memories appeared for reasons you could not explain. Maybe hope has quietly visited you even on ordinary afternoons. Those are not conclusions. They are invitations to pay closer attention. Because the story is moving forward even when nothing seems to be happening. And here is the surprising part. The powerful surprise is not only about what someone may eventually reveal. It is also about who you are becoming before that moment arrives. The strongest connections are rarely built between two unchanged people. They emerge after both have been transformed by separate journeys that somehow prepare them for the same destination. So do not measure progress by what you can see today. Some of the greatest movements happen beneath the surface, where patience quietly builds tomorrow. Keep listening, because the next chapter uncovers why this hidden transformation is reaching a point where it can no longer remain unseen, and what happens next may change the way you interpret every unexpected moment that follows. Wait, don't let your attention drift just yet, because this is where the hidden pattern begins to reveal itself. Imagine looking at a beautiful painting from only an inch away. You would see colors, but not the masterpiece. Step back, and suddenly every brushstroke makes sense. Life often works the same way. The moments that confused you were never isolated events. They were pieces waiting for the right distance to reveal their meaning. The one who loves you has been seeing life differently lately. Something has shifted deep inside them. It did not happen overnight, and it certainly did not happen because someone told them what to do. It happened because experience became a better teacher than certainty. Every unanswered question, every quiet evening, every unexpected twist has slowly uncovered a truth they could no longer ignore. That truth keeps leading them back to one thought. Back to one possibility. Back to one person. You. But before you decide what that means, hear this carefully. The surprise is not about perfection. It is about courage finally becoming stronger than hesitation. Have you ever noticed how people often discover the value of something only after time changes the way they see it? Familiar things suddenly become extraordinary. Ordinary conversations become unforgettable memories. Small moments reveal emotions that were hidden all along. Awareness has a remarkable way of transforming what once seemed ordinary into something impossible to overlook. Perhaps that is exactly what has been happening. While you continued living your life, learning your own lessons and quietly growing stronger, another journey was unfolding beyond your view. Every challenge they faced reshaped their priorities. Every setback taught them clarity. Every new sunrise quietly removed another layer of uncertainty until one realization stood untouched by doubt. Some feelings become impossible to ignore once they reach that point. Stay with me a little longer. The next realization could change how you see your own story. There is an interesting truth about timing. People often believe that the right moment arrives because the clock says so. But meaningful moments arrive because hearts become ready. Readiness cannot be rushed. It cannot be borrowed. It cannot be forced. It grows quietly beneath the surface until one ordinary day suddenly feels unlike any other. That day may look completely normal from the outside. Yet everything changes within it. Maybe the surprise will begin with a conversation you never expected. Maybe it will arrive through an opportunity that seems unrelated at first. Maybe it will simply begin with one honest sentence that opens a completely different future. The path rarely announces itself before it appears. That is why awareness matters. Notice the small changes. Notice the unexpected invitations. Notice the unusual sense of peace that sometimes appears without explanation. These are not guarantees of one specific outcome. They are reminders to remain open to meaningful possibilities. Because life has an extraordinary habit of rewarding those who remain awake to the moments others overlook. And here is something worth remembering. When someone truly values another person, they stop looking for perfect conditions. They begin creating meaningful ones. They stop waiting for certainty to arrive on its own. Instead, they choose honesty over comfort. That choice often becomes the beginning of the surprise no one saw coming. If these words have encouraged you to look at your own journey with fresh eyes, consider leaving a comment about what resonated with you, sharing this message with someone who may need a little hope today, and subscribing if these conversations continue to inspire your path. Sometimes one shared message reaches exactly the person who was waiting for it. Now listen carefully. The story is moving toward its most unexpected turn. The one who loves you may not surprise you simply because of what they choose to say. They may surprise you because of who they have quietly become while you were both living separate chapters. And that transformation changes everything. The next part uncovers why certain signs begin appearing just before a powerful surprise enters your life, and why the smallest moment could become the one you remember for years to come. Take one more step with me, because the quiet mystery is about to become clearer, and what seemed like scattered moments may soon feel connected in a way you never expected. There are times when life prepares an answer long before it asks the question. At first, nothing appears different. The days pass as usual. Conversations come and go. Plans change. Yet beneath everything you can see, a deeper story continues writing itself. This is where many people give up too soon. They assume that because nothing dramatic has happened, nothing meaningful is happening. But that assumption has caused countless people to walk away just before the most important chapter of their journey began. Do not make that mistake. Stay here for a little longer. The picture is becoming sharper. The one who loves you has been carrying more than emotion. They have been carrying intention. Not the kind that appears for a single day and disappears with changing circumstances. A quieter kind. A steadier kind. The kind that grows stronger every time life puts it to the test. Think about a river. From the surface, it seems calm. Yet underneath, the current never stops moving. Real change often looks exactly like that. Invisible until suddenly it becomes impossible to ignore. Perhaps you have been wondering why certain memories keep returning. Why familiar places suddenly feel different. Why hope appears on days when you expected nothing unusual. Those moments may not be giving you answers directly. Instead, they are teaching you to notice that life often speaks through gentle patterns rather than loud announcements. Have you considered this? What if the surprise is already unfolding, but you have only seen the beginning of it? Sometimes the greatest reveal is not a single event. It is a sequence. One conversation leads to another. One unexpected encounter opens a new opportunity. One ordinary decision quietly redirects an entire future. Looking back, everything seems obvious. Looking forward, everything feels uncertain. That is why trust in the journey matters so much. Every meaningful story reaches a point where fear and possibility stand side by side. One whispers, "Nothing will change." The other quietly asks, "What if everything is about to?" The choice of which voice to follow has always belonged to you. And here is something remarkable. The one who truly loves you is no longer measuring life by old fears. They are beginning to see beyond them. Their attention has shifted from wondering whether something is possible to asking how they can become the kind of person who is ready when opportunity arrives. That change is powerful. Because once a person begins living from clarity instead of uncertainty, their decisions naturally become bolder. That is when surprises begin finding their way into ordinary days. Pause with that thought. Imagine waking up one morning believing it would be like every other day, only to discover that one conversation, one unexpected message, or one simple moment completely changes the direction of your week. Life has always had the ability to do that. Not through coincidence alone, but through preparation meeting the right moment. The future has an interesting habit of arriving quietly. It rarely asks for attention. It simply appears. And those who have learned patience are often the first to recognize it. So keep your heart open. Keep your perspective wide. Do not let temporary uncertainty convince you that meaningful possibilities have disappeared. Some of the most beautiful chapters begin while everything still looks ordinary. And perhaps that is the greatest surprise of all. The person who loves you is not only moving closer to an important decision. They are becoming someone capable of honoring it with sincerity, confidence, and genuine purpose. That transformation is worth more than any hurried promise. Because lasting moments are built by lasting growth. The journey is still unfolding. The next chapter will reveal why the timing of this surprise may be even more meaningful than the surprise itself. And why, when everything finally comes together, you may realize that every unexpected delay had been quietly guiding you toward exactly this moment. Before you look away, stay for this next moment, because the final pieces are beginning to fall into place. Imagine standing outside a door that has been slowly opening all along. From a distance it appeared completely closed. Day after day, nothing seemed different. But when you finally moved closer, you realized the opening had been growing wider with every passing moment. Life often reveals its biggest changes exactly like that. Quietly. Patiently. Without demanding attention. The one who loves you has reached a point where waiting no longer feels comfortable. The thoughts they once kept to themselves have become stronger than their silence. Every lesson they have learned has led them toward one realization. Genuine connections are built through honesty, not assumptions. That realization changes everything. Because once truth becomes clearer than fear, hesitation begins to lose its power. Perhaps you have noticed something changing within yourself as well. You are no longer the same person you were months ago. The questions that once consumed your mind no longer carry the same weight. The things that once distracted you now seem less important. Growth has quietly been taking place on both sides of this story. That is why this moment feels different. Not because destiny suddenly appeared, but because preparation has finally reached the place where possibility can be recognized. Take a deep look at your own journey. Every challenge strengthened your patience. Every disappointment refined your perspective. Every unexpected delay taught you something that success alone never could. None of those experiences were wasted. They became the foundation for what comes next. Now imagine this. One ordinary morning begins like every other. Nothing seems unusual. You move through familiar routines. Then something unexpected happens. A message arrives. A conversation begins. A meeting takes place. Or perhaps a simple opportunity appears where you least expected it. At first it seems like another ordinary moment. But only later do you realize it quietly redirected the course of your future. That is how meaningful surprises often arrive. Not through loud announcements, but through moments that reveal their importance only after they have already changed you. There is another truth you should carry with you. The people who create the most meaningful memories are rarely those who seek perfect timing. They are the ones willing to act when their hearts become clear. Clarity creates courage. Courage creates action. And action opens doors that fear could never unlock. If this journey has spoken to you, and these reflections have brought encouragement or hope, you are warmly invited to share your thoughts in the comments, pass this message along to someone who may need it today, and subscribe if you enjoy exploring these meaningful conversations together. Sometimes a single shared story becomes the beginning of someone else's new perspective. Now listen carefully. The surprise promised in the beginning was never meant to be understood as a single dramatic event alone. Its true power comes from something much deeper. It is the realization that meaningful change often begins long before anyone can see it. The one who loves you may surprise you with unexpected honesty. They may surprise you with unexpected courage. Or they may simply surprise you by showing a version of themselves that life has been quietly shaping all along. And perhaps the greatest surprise waiting for you is discovering that you, too, have become stronger, wiser, calmer, and more prepared than you ever realized. When two paths have both been transformed by growth, their meeting carries a completely different meaning. So keep moving forward with confidence. Welcome new possibilities without forcing them. Remain open without losing yourself. Trust your ability to recognize sincerity when it appears. Because the most powerful surprises are not the ones that interrupt your life. They are the ones that quietly reveal how beautifully your journey has been unfolding all along. And when that moment finally arrives, you may smile, look back at every unanswered question, and realize that each step, no matter how confusing it once seemed, was preparing you for a chapter far more meaningful than you could have imagined. One last thought, because endings often reveal what beginnings were trying to say all along. If you have stayed until this moment, then you already understand that the greatest stories are never built from a single surprise. They are built from countless quiet moments that slowly guide two different paths toward one meaningful destination. Look back for just a moment. Remember the days when nothing seemed to make sense. The waiting. The unanswered questions. The unexpected changes. At the time, they felt like obstacles. Now imagine seeing them from the future. Would they still look like setbacks? Or would they appear as stepping stones leading you exactly where you needed to be? Perspective has the power to transform every chapter. The one who loves you has not reached this point by accident. Every experience has shaped their heart into someone who understands that real connections are not sustained by excitement alone. They are strengthened by honesty, respect, patience, and the willingness to keep choosing what truly matters. That is why this story was never about chasing an impossible dream. It was about becoming ready for a meaningful reality. There is something extraordinary about people who continue growing even when nobody notices. They build quiet confidence instead of seeking constant approval. They learn to value truth over appearances. They stop trying to impress the world and begin focusing on becoming someone they can genuinely be proud of. Those are the people who leave lasting impact. Perhaps that is the hidden message you were meant to hear today. The surprise waiting ahead is not simply about another person's choice. It is also about your own awakening. You are beginning to recognize your value without needing endless reassurance. You are learning that peace is more powerful than panic. That patience often accomplishes what pressure never can. And that authentic relationships are created through trust, not through rushing the future. Hold on to that wisdom. Because it will guide you long after this message ends. As you continue your journey, remain curious instead of fearful. Choose hope instead of assumptions. Welcome opportunities instead of resisting change. Some answers will arrive quickly. Others will unfold one step at a time. Both are valuable. Both have their purpose. And remember this. Life has an incredible way of connecting people at moments when they have become capable of appreciating each other with greater maturity and deeper understanding. That is why every season matters. Even the quiet ones. Even the uncertain ones. Even the chapters that seem ordinary. They are often preparing something extraordinary behind the scenes. So walk forward with confidence. Let your actions reflect kindness. Let your words carry encouragement. Let your future be shaped by wisdom instead of worry. Because no matter what tomorrow brings, becoming your strongest, kindest, and most authentic self will always be a surprise worth creating. Thank you for sharing these moments with me. If this journey sparked hope, reflection, or a new perspective, carry that light into your day and let it inspire the way you see the people and possibilities around you. Until our paths cross again, keep your heart open, your mind clear, and your eyes ready for the quiet miracles that often arrive without warning. Sometimes the most powerful surprise is not discovering who has been thinking about you. It is discovering how much your own life has changed while you were patiently moving forward. And that realization has the power to transform every chapter